only last week, the Pope, the head of the Roman Catholic Church, has just revoked the Doctrine of Discovery. Only last week. Can you imagine? Nothing more horrific has ever existed in history than this doctrine which said if you're white and Christian, you're a human being. And if you're not white and not Christian, then you don't have any rights whatsoever to anything, not even your own existence on this planet, because you weren't a person. Your viewers are probably going to be interested to know that that doctrine of discovery is still a part of American law. It hasn't been repealed from American law. It was actually used in 2005 to further suppress the native indigenous people of America. And so they have a long way to go. And the only way we take the whole of the world and all of humanity to a position of reconciliation is if we speak at every opportunity when we see these institutions perpetuating their institutionalized hatred and contempt for all things non-white, non-Christian. And so this has to happen, and I would appeal to every person who's watching, and certainly those of the student fraternity, to step forward and be a part of detoxifying the world from this colonialist attitude. The Pope issued a papal bull, an edict, a Christian fatwa, which basically said to white Christians, go out into the world, and anywhere you encounter a land where there are no Christians, you can acquire it and assume it's yours. You have the right to own it and all the people and all the animals and all the resources. And that was it in a nutshell. And it's because of that doctrine that Columbus set off to the west in search of India. Remember, it was India he was looking for, that land of fabled riches. And when he arrived in the United States, as it's now called, with the blessing of the God of Christianity, he assumed that he could do whatever he wished, and all of the worst appetites of people who were actually barbarians by every description, they satiated all of their vile demonic appetites on non-white, non-Christian people. And they were able to do so with the divine blessing of a Christian God. That's what the doctrine of discovery was. Every time you use that word discover, you should mentally also connect it to the doctrine of discovery. You know, we have so many genuine discoveries in the Bharatiya literature. You know, whether it was the understanding of gravity, the distance between the sun and the earth, all of these amazing things, the number zero, etc., etc. When white Christians came to India, they did so with that understanding that they could take whatever they wished and claim it for their own. Only last week, I came across an article whereby a white Christian yoga practitioner had suddenly announced the discovery or the creation of authentic American asanas. Okay, so it's that same desire, isn't it, to rubber stamp everything with your ownership and your title, with no regard to lineage, no regard to the original conceivers, creators of any understanding. And as I've said, it's been in place for several hundred years. It was in the 1500s when this was issued as a papal bull. And it's only now been revoked. And it's largely been revoked because of the demands of the natives of Canada, who disclosed that over 150,000 of their children had been kidnapped under the threat of violence. And they had the worst horrors inflicted upon them imaginable. When the Pope visited, he gave a very mealy-mouthed sort of typical apology, but they said it's not enough. We're not buying this Kool-Aid anymore, as the youngsters say these days. They said, no, we want to see something more tangible. And they demanded revocation of this doctrine of discovery. And it was revoked last week. So there is a lot of work to be done.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net। धन्यवाद, नमस्कार।